Afrik Express, a new African talk show, rebranding Africa. We're insightful, inquisitive, and intriguing. We simply bring Africa to you.
Welcome to Afrik Express. Today we are going to Nigeria, to Nollywood. My guest with me today is a movie actor, producer. In fact, he's multi-talented. He's none other than Desmond Elliot. Mr. Elliot, you're welcome.
How are you doing, man? Thank you very much.
Fine, thank you.
Appreciate it.
And Nigerian movie actor in films, basically. How many years have you been doing this?
Close to 12 years now.
12 years?
Yeah.
Did you study acting in school?
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, I studied economics, Lagos State University, and that's economics BSc. But what I did was I had started, when I started acting, I went for courses, in acting and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what I did pretty much.
How you come about that? You just started one day and decided, oh, I'm going to, from economics, I'm now going to be doing acting. Well, yes, what inspired you?
It was like this. I was dating this girl when I was in school, and the plan was we're going to get married, okay? And the plan again was I was going to travel to the States and then work for a bit, then ask her to come over. Some miracle will happen. While I was waiting after school, after I studied economics, I was waiting. I went to the embassy like twice, and twice I was sent back home. I was rejected, and then I didn't know what to do. So I would always be home. A friend of mine said to me, my middle name is Shola. So he says, Shola, why don't you act like these people? I said, please, I beg. Well, to cut the long story short, that was how I prayed about it. And then when I felt in my heart that it was something God wanted me to do, I decided to go.
Now you find yourself, you're acting.
Yes.
How many movies have you done? Because you seem to be everywhere.
In Nigeria films? Yes. Come on. We act every day. Anyways, let me see. When I started, I didn't do much. I was probably doing maybe 1, 2, 3 a year. Then when stardom and popularity came, it became something more like 30 films, 20 films a year.
A year?
Yes. Because of what we shoot. We just shoot drama. We shoot drama, everyday stories. We don't build sets. We go to people's homes, invade people's privacies. So it made the job a whole lot easier, coupled with the fact that the investor had little money to throw around. So we would have to shoot a whole lot in a day and, do so much. So I probably did between 20 and 30 in those stardom period. But when I decided to start producing and directing, I really cut down on acting. So I probably do this year I've probably done only 2. Last year I did 7. So it reduces every year as I concentrate on the business part of the show.
The actors, how did they manage?
There's nothing to manage. They pay you your money, man. You'll be happy to shoot it. That's the point. Come on.
That means you're working constantly.
Day in, day out.
Day and night.
Oh yes. I could do an average of 2-3 films a month. Yeah. Yes, because and that in our sense, in our reckoning, is working. Even though eventually it diminishes, it has its negative side. It's not all positive. Positive side is you get paid. Then your standard of living improves, not just for you. Nigerian style is we're a communal kind of society.
Yes.
We not only deal with yourself and your wife. You deal with your wife, your wife's people, your husband.
All the extended family.
Extended family, everybody's in it. So if you're marrying one person, you're joking. Even if your wife wants you to be the only person, you are still joking.
Yes.
Because everybody will bring the whole family in, including the dogs as well. If you have dogs in the family, the dogs become
your in-laws.
It gets to the point the dogs start talking. Madam, what's your problem? Don't you know I'm a member of this family? Anyways, so you're happy that you can, for some reason, spend and help your family, with what you get. So it's a thing of joy for us.
But what does that do to the quality of film?
Which is what took me to where I am right now. At some point, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you find out that, okay, I'm known. I make money, so to speak, by Nigerian standard.
Right.
I am comfortable, but am I there? You ask yourself, it gets to that point. For me, it happened in 2006. I was going to shoot a movie in Brazil, and on my way to the airport, I saw 7 of my films released that week. And the posters were all over till I got to the airport. And I wondered to myself, this is crazy.
Yes.
I said to myself, this is crazy. 7 films.
No, so it's also cutting down on money you're making, because 7 films being released in 1 week.
It doesn't cut down on.
There's nothing for them to see.
No, well, it's really, I don't care. My problem is let them pay my money. I don't care about, But the point for me was, I just felt something wasn't right for me at that point in time. I'm not speaking for every other actor. I'm just speaking for myself. So that's why I decided, I said, okay, let's do things right. We might not get there, but I think it's time we stepped up a bit. And that was why, I decided to do other things other than...
So that's why you became a producer and director?
Pretty much. First of all, was a producer. I didn't have directing in mind.
Okay.
As a producer was the fact that I got tired of the same routine, being stereotyped and the same kind of storylines over and over and over again. I just felt there was so much more that people were enjoying it, yes, but I just felt there was so much more that we could do.
One thing though, I know that the storylines were a bit repetitive, but one thing I must say for the Nigerian industry is that their films are mostly educative. If you really pay close attention to the message that they're trying to send out, at least most of the ones that I've seen, they were trying to bring out issues that are wrong within the society.
Exactly.
Things that need to change.
Exactly.
They actually use the film industry as an agent of change.
I do agree to what you've said. Also, I believe that besides educating people, it informs as well, because people living outside the country get to know what is happening, what is current. A very familiar trip is seeing the kind of houses you can find in Nigeria, and people are wondering, you mean you have these kind of houses in Africa? Yeah. Those huge, gigantic houses, beautiful cars. And fortunately, I'm glad that Nollywood started from Nigeria, because we are very proud people.
Yes.
We are very exotic, exorbitant. The first $3,000 an average Nigerian makes, the first thing he's thinking of is how to get a car. So the fact that we show that we own ourselves as Nigerians and as black people, and how proud we are. I think Nigeria is amongst every other nation a very blessed country.
I think they've really come a long way.
Yes.
And even with the latest election, the way they transition and everything, I think Nigeria is really, they are setting an example. And that's what we should be doing.
Yes, I agree. I couldn't agree with you more on that. Yeah. I've been to many countries in Africa, and I have seen countries that have had less resources as Nigeria has gotten, or as Nigeria has, and they tend to want to do well. Even South Africa, being a fantastic country, cannot boast of half the things Nigeria as a nation, holds. But we thank God that the youth that holds the country is now very aware of the fact that we can put the right people in power. And it was shown in the elections.
Yes.
It was shown credibly well. And, big ups to we guys. We're happy with the government that's entered. We give them some time. Nigeria is also a very impatient nation. When we put you there, we expect you to start performing.
Right.
And the president knows, and we know he's going to do something. And we're glad. We're really glad about that.
Well, say anything that have really touched you, that you've perhaps seen and said,
I think the fact that you can bless other people, for me, is something I never thought I could ever do or would ever do. The fact that because of what I do, I can touch other lives, people that are the underprivileged in the society. I can reach out to people in the rural areas, and I can cry out and people can listen so as to help a certain group of people. For me, being that channel is more of a blessing to me. Being able to walk to the UN, for instance, and ask for aid because I need to go to a certain rural area, which I did as well, is a blessing for me.
Tell us about that.
Well, I run this NGO called the Desmond Elliot Foundation, and somehow low key, but what we do is like in 2008, got some funding from the UN Habitat. We went and did some research in Jos, Plateau State. I grew up in Jos, so I went to some local government areas in Jos, and there are areas you go to, people don't even have water to drink. So we had to now work on it, how they get boreholes and stuff. The fact that I can bring such awareness, out is something to be grateful for. We also do, under the foundation as well, I've been able to go to Liberia on 3 different occasions, go to old folks' homes in Liberia, orphanages, you buy stuff, and they don't even cherish those things. It's when you bring, like my colleagues come with me, that to them is greater than Brad Pitt.
So not just that you're making money for yourself, but you are giving back to the society.
That is the society. In fact, that is the motto
something meaningful.
That's the motto of my foundation. You have to give back. You need to give back. I mean, as a Christian, we've learned that you have, if Melchizedek can survive on just 1/10 of everything, and he gives the rest out and just remains he divides everything into 10 places and takes one portion, and he's considered the wealthiest man in his time. It means that he's not so much as in the money, but what you can bless with what you have gotten. So for me, that is the high point.
How do you're doing NGO work, you're doing producing, directing, acting. Right. When do you find time to sleep?
Now, that's a very good question, because I've not really been able to sleep even while being here. my brain is so messed up. I'm using African time to sleep while this day here. It's crazy. But yes, we find time somehow. Most importantly, the kind of person you get married to matters as well, because you need an understanding wife. My wife is the kind of person that is generally very attached to the husband. She needs all the attention, but she learned earlier on that this might be a very difficult ambition because of the kind of lifestyle we live as actors.
Right.
So she's learned to understand that, okay, he's around, let me support him and all that. Sometimes as a woman, she makes me realize that she's a woman, but most times she says, okay, just do your thing, and I'll watch your back, I'll be there for you.
It must be difficult for actors, some of the roles that they play, and having spouses, who sit back and watch.
Way past that. I mean, the early stage was really bad. When I started acting, and then people, you just do stuff. I just started, and then I started rising, and then the roles started changing. I started having more kiss scenes, bedroom scenes and stuff. She didn't bother. It was more of her sisters. She comes from a line of 5 girls, and she's the youngest of all the girls. And when they watch anything that has to do with me kissing, next thing, they pass a call through to her. Look at this, then it was boyfriend. How can this kind of person come to the family? Because she's from a very strict religious home. And then, why is he, this is wrong, he's not blah, blah, blah. She will call me, she will, man. But we've gone past that. Right. Not with children around. You want to ask your husband why he's kissing on TV? Man, you don't have work yet. Yes. So we passed all that right now. So it's more like, baby, if you need to kiss to bring that money home, go kiss. All right? Go and do the kissing, man, and bring the money home. The children gotta eat. Yes. So we've gone past that. And it's especially taking her to location and seeing that you're not just kissing, you have like 20 people watching, and the kiss is not really kiss till maybe, most times it's not really exact kiss. So
it's your job.
Well, it's my job.
But the thing is that I have to give it to spouses that are, because it has to take a very special type of spouse to be able to
I quite agree with you.
Endure those type of things. And also the limelight, being on the limelight all the time.
Give that credit to someone like Omotola's husband. With Omotola, everything that's happened, the man, you see the man stick to it. What pisses me off, I'm sorry to say, is when a man watches an actress on TV, loves the actress, falls in love with the actress, goes and meets the actress, tells the actress, I love you. The actress now falls in love with him, and then they get married, and the man now tells the woman, you can't do this job anymore. I don't get that part.
Because it is their job.
I don't get that part. Till next tomorrow, I still won't get that part. So I don't want to break anybody's home, but I don't get that part.
Well, tell me, in that case, is there any script that they've brought to you and you look at it and you say, I'm not going to play this role?
Oh yes. One vividly comes to my mind. In 2007, a director friend of mine I've been hoping to work with someday calls me up and says, Desmond, come. I left my home very early, went to his house. He gives me the script, quite a big script. I said, what's the story about? He says, he smiles and says, read it, and you know. So I opened the first page. I said, what's my character? He tells me my character. I now ask who else is on the job. He says Kanayo is on the job, some other guy is on the job. I said, okay, I think Muna or something. And I asked him whose names. As I kept reading, I now looked at the male character and another male character, they were kissing. So I thought it was typo. So I asked him, I said, come, I think there's a mistake here. This guy is kissing this guy in this film, blah, blah, blah. The names. He now looked at me and said, no, it's not a mistake. I said, what do you mean it's not a mistake? Man and man. It's a gay movie? He says, yes. I said, okay. I don't have any problem with gay people, but I really can't do it right now because the society where we live in probably would not read it well.
They're not ready for it.
They're not ready yet for it. So I said it would be very, I would feel quite uncomfortable doing it, in that society, especially knowing that right now they've not accepted or embraced it. Yes. They think, it's not about the people. They've forgotten that these people are human beings. Do you understand? So whatever my belief is, is irrelevant because I'm dealing with a Nigerian society.